Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to give you guys a general world news update on the energy surrounding the headlines that we are seeing today. Some of what may come out may resonate as like information playing out right this second. Um, but it's weird. Okay, I am going to say that the energy behind some of this is very weird. I do have my conspiracy deck out though, specifically to kind of like prime some of the messages. And then we're going to get into the specific themes that I picked up on in the subsequent reading. So for the first card, it's something about like, um, so we have the network news. Okay. So there's some type of strong media group, and they are either looking into something. It seems like they have uncovered or they will be reporting on a story that has to do with a media sensation. This person could have like multiple personalities. I know that sounds random, or it could be somebody who has different sides to them. Um, but either there's going to be a report about them um either consuming something that is poisonous, or they're like under the influence of something. So I was picking up on this being someone who linked to professional sports, um and they're being used as like some type of industry distraction at the moment, but their story actually has like a deeper, darker concept, I want to say. Now, Al Gore came out in this reading. This deck, the conspiracy deck, I like using because it has specific themes. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last reading, but my geopolitical deck that I created doesn't have specific names of people, and there's a purpose for that. Now, Al Gore came out in this reading. Right above it said is the card "Just Say No." Okay, "Just Say No" in this case could be canceling out something. But when I think of "Just Say No," I'm thinking about drugs, right? So there is something to do with a drug and human cloning, because that card is right above Al Gore, that they are not talking about. And it seems like they're testing it out on players, like professional ball players are being like tested. So they're being tested on a couple different levels. So some people, um okay, thank you. So a lot is going on in this one little reading, and I feel like it needs to have like a continuation, but I'm not doing that here. So something about these players being used, and maybe I don't know if stories are going to be about them, um and it's going to be presented as one thing, but it's really like an act of random violence on them, or it's like something being tested. um I thought of steroids, but it's something else, because with this human cloning thing, I don't know if this is like leaning into this storyline of like how certain players are, you know, given certain substances to either make them like borderline superhuman in a way. So if it's that, that could be one thing, but part of the reason why I'm being brought there, okay, because we have health nuts, okay? Weird liberals resist corporate food and drugs. Now, I mentioned that there was the food poisoning card that's out here. Target fast food chains. Now, it does not have to be just fast food chains, but we have the UN. The UN has been coming up in a lot of the themes in these readings in the last couple of days. But in the center of this whole entire reading, we have plastic surgeons, um, and then we have a porn scandal. So it's almost like they are fetishizing the strength of professional ball players, and they're using them for multiple things. So if they're cloning them, they could be taking advantage of that person's essence, okay, which I don't know what that is about. Like, what I mean, it's like I kind of know what it's about, but let's just get into the last row. So the last row says insider trading, inside trading. So it's some type of corporate scam, money gain, right? Hackers 2.0, upgraded techies, strong computer synergy, and then we have genetic engineers. Okay, but then right underneath that, we're having helter skelter, weird cult violence, and it's right underneath the random violence card. So again, it's like I feel like they're not saying what's really happening, and this kind of reminds me of something that I was thinking about earlier this week about how um so of course people die every day, but there's something to be said about the way certain deaths are presented or reported to us. So when you go to Entertainment Tonight, um, Entertainment Tonight, the show, go to their like YouTube channel, right? Every day they post at least 1 to 3 new like tribute posts of people who have died. And I started to think that it was a little strange because there's like this theme of a lot of influencers dying. Um, and they're not necessarily doing anything out of the norm, but it's something about like them being, because again, I'm picking up on this media sensation card here, but it's not even so much about the figures and what their professions are. It's the actual scandal that's happening right now that's being kind of like, I guess, covered up behind other news cycles or news, headlines. They're not telling us that certain people are dying because they're being XYZ. And I said XYZ because it's like I don't know if